The Galactic Security Chief was removed from duty after making a human flinch during intimidation training, not for the flinching, but for what she did 3 seconds later when he laughed about it. Cardiac arrest protocols, now. Kiralin's voice cut through the observation deck as medical teams swarmed around Vexthara's collapsed form. His massive frame lay motionless on the training mat, 4 arms splayed at odd angles, breathing shallow and erratic. Elena stood exactly where she'd been standing when it happened, hands still raised in that defensive posture from the flinch, looking between the chaos and her own palms like she'd just discovered they could shoot lasers. Administrator Fendak's throat sac inflated to twice its normal size. "Explain, now. What did you do to him?" "I didn't do anything." Elena's voice carried that confused uptick humans did when they weren't sure if they were in trouble. "He jumped at me, I flinched, he laughed, and then—" She gestured vaguely at the medical team, shocking Vexthara's chest. That happened? His cardiac system simply stopped. Kiralin didn't look up from her scanner, 3 of her eye stalks fixed on the readings, while the 4th watched Elena like she might explode. No toxins, no weapons discharge, no physical contact. It just stopped. "Vital signs stabilizing," one of the medical techs called out. "He's coming back." "Coming back?" Elena laughed nervously. "Jesus, I thought he just passed out or something. Is he okay?" Fendak's colors shifted through 7 different stress patterns. Station-wide alert level has been raised to amber. Security footage is being analyzed by the Threat Assessment Division. You will remain exactly where you are until we understand what happened. Threat assessment? For what? Elena looked around the observation deck where 24 species had been watching the mandatory behavioral compliance training. Every single one of them had backed away from her. "Guys, seriously, I have no idea what—" "You stopped his heart." Kiralin's voice was flat, clinical. Vexthara is a Krell warrior. His species has conquered 12 systems through physical supremacy alone. He has fought in 43 combat engagements. And you... She finally turned all 4 eye stalks toward Elena. "You made him flinch, and when he laughed, his heart stopped beating. I mean, I definitely didn't..." Elena paused, tilting her head. "Wait, did you check his blood pressure first? Because if someone startles you and then you immediately overexert yourself, that can trigger a vasovagal response and..." "A what?" Fendak's translators struggled with the term. Vexthara groaned, mandibles clicking as consciousness returned. 2 medical techs helped him sit up, but when his eyes focused on Elena, his pupils contracted to pinpoints. "Keep her away from me." The room went silent. "Chief Vexthara, can you describe what happened?" Kiralin kept her body between him and Elena. "I executed standard intimidation protocol." His voice rumbled low, damaged pride evident in every syllable. The human showed appropriate fear response, the flinch, elevated heart rate. I laughed to establish dominance, as is proper when prey displays weakness. He touched his chest, wincing. Then my hearts, both of them, they just seized, like something reached inside and squeezed them until they stopped. "Oh, that's..." Elena started. "Do not speak." Fendak's command voice activated, but Elena kept talking anyway. "I'm just saying, it sounds like a textbook vagal response. Your nervous system basically hit the reset button because your species has psychic capabilities." Kiralin stated it like a diagnosis. "You weaponized a cardiac event." Elena blinked. "What? No, that's not... I don't have psychic anything." "Emergency council session has been convened." Fendak's tablet lit up with priority alerts. "Classification: potential human biological warfare capability. Elena Reeves, you are hereby confined to this station pending investigation into biological warfare? Elena's laugh came out slightly hysterical. Are you serious right now? The guy startled me. I flinched. He laughed about it, and his own body did whatever that was. How is that my fault? Because, Vexthara growled, struggling to his feet despite medical protests. I have survived plasma burns, kinetic impacts, and neural disruptors. Nothing has ever stopped my hearts. Nothing. Until you looked at me. I looked at you? Elena threw her hands up. That's what we're going with? Lethal eye contact? The security footage confirms it. Fendek pulled up the holographic replay. There was Elena, flinching back when Vexthara lunged forward in his aggressive display. There was Vexthara, mandibles spread in that predatory laugh. And there, frozen on the frame, was Elena's face, expression shifting from fear to something else. Something focused. Her eyes locked on Vexthara for perhaps 2 seconds. Then Vexthara collapsed. Play it again, Kiralan demanded. Slower. They watched 5 more times. Each replay showed the same impossible sequence. Human flinches. Predator laughs. Human makes eye contact. Predator's cardiac system fails. You didn't even move, Vexthara whispered. And for the first time since Elena had met him, he sounded afraid. You just looked at me, and my body betrayed me. Elena stared at the frozen hologram of her own face. I honestly have no idea how I did that. I mean, yeah, when he laughed I was pretty pissed off, but I can't just... She looked down at her hands again. That's not a thing humans can do, right? Fendak's tablet chimed with an incoming priority message. He read it, color draining to pale gray. The Council wants an immediate demonstration. They're sending 6 different predator species to test whether this is reproducible. Test it? Elena's voice pitched higher. You want me to stop more people's hearts? Are you insane? We need to know, Kiralan said quietly. If every human has this capability. Because if they do, then we've allowed a species with weaponized psychosocial abilities full access to galactic infrastructure, Fendek finished. And we never even noticed. Elena looked around at the 36 species watching her with new expressions. Not respect, not friendship, fear. Cool, cool, cool. She laughed weakly. So, can someone explain to me what the hell just happened? Because I'm a forensic accountant from Denver, and this is not in my job description. Vexthara, still clutching his chest, met her eyes for just a moment before looking away quickly. Keep her contained. I don't care what protocols say. That human is the most dangerous thing on this station. And Elena, who had woken up that morning worried about filing deadlines, realized she couldn't actually argue with that assessment. She just wished she knew why. The testing chamber filled with species Elena had only seen in orientation hollows. A Threx hunter, scales rippling with bioluminescent threat displays. A Vorath enforcer, triple-jointed limbs designed for pursuit. A Kelgrin territorial, whose ancestors had evolved specifically to terrify prey into paralysis. All of them volunteered to prove Vexthara was simply weak. This is insane, Elena muttered, watching them enter through reinforced observation glass. I'm not doing whatever you think I did. I don't know how to do it. Then they'll be fine. Fendak's voice carried forced confidence. Medical teams are standing by. We've analyzed your biometrics during the incident. No energy signatures, no chemical releases, nothing that would indicate offensive capability. Kiralan adjusted her scanner. Heart rate elevated but normal for human stress response. No unusual neural activity. She's not consciously doing anything. Great, so we're good then. Elena tried to sound relieved. Can I go back to my quarters and pretend this day never happened? The Threx is approaching you now. Elena turned. Through the glass, the Threx hunter had fixed all 6 eyes on her. Its mouth opened, revealing rows of crystalline teeth designed to inject paralytic venom. The threat display intensified, every predator instinct in its genome screaming dominance. Elena flinched. The Threx laughed. That same sound, the one predators made when prey showed weakness. Then it stopped laughing. Its legs buckled. All 6 eyes rolled back. Medical! Kirillin lunged for the emergency panel. Wait, what? Elena pressed against the glass. We were just looking at each other. He was doing the scary teeth thing and I... She watched the medical team swarm the unconscious Threx. Oh God, not again. Cardiac arrest confirmed, one of the medics reported. Inducing restart. The Vorath Enforcer moved next, more cautious now. It circled Elena through the glass, analyzing. When it lunged forward in its intimidation display, Elena jerked back instinctively. The Vorath barked. Not quite a laugh, but close enough. Predator amusement at prey response. Elena's eyes locked on it for maybe 3 seconds. It collapsed before the bark finished echoing. Stop the testing! Fendak's color cycled through panic patterns. Abort! Everyone out of the chamber! Too late. Kirillin pointed. The Kelgrin had already initiated its territorial aggression, the one thing its species did better than any other, instill primal fear. Elena's whole body flinched this time, shoulders hunching, head tucking, every human fear response firing at once. The Kelgrin's territorial call rumbled through the observation deck, a sound that had evolved over millions of years to freeze prey in place. It laughed. That deep, resonant predator satisfaction. Elena looked up. The Kelgrin's 3 hearts stopped in sequence, like dominoes falling. She's not even trying. Vexthara, watching from medical, sounded almost vindicated. Look at her face. She doesn't know what she's doing. Elena stared at her reflection in the glass, watching her own expression. Fear, anger, something else underneath. Something her conscious mind couldn't name but her body absolutely understood. Get species analysis running, Fendak ordered. Find the common factor. Why are predator species specifically affected? Already on it. Kirillin's eye stalks danced across multiple screens. Preliminary data suggests... Oh no. What? It's not what she's doing to them. Kirillin's voice went quiet. It's what their nervous systems are doing when they encounter her. The laugh, it's a predator dominant signal. When they laugh at her fear response, they're telling their own bodies threat neutralized, prey secured. So their cardiovascular systems relax. Blood pressure drops, parasympathetic nervous system engages. Kirillin looked at Elena through the glass. And then she looks at them, and suddenly they're not looking at prey anymore. I don't understand, Fendak said. Their bodies do. Kirillin pulled up Elena's biometric data from the exact moment of eye contact. Look at her pupil dilation, muscle tension, micro-expressions. Every single threat indicator spikes simultaneously. But she's not attacking. She doesn't have to. Kirillin's voice carried a note of horrified fascination. Their nervous systems see a prey animal that should be terrified suddenly displaying apex predator signals. The contradiction crashes their entire threat assessment system. Elena's voice crackled through the intercom. Can someone please explain what's happening? Because 3 people just passed out and I'm having a really bad day. Vexthara laughed, then immediately stopped himself, checking his pulse. She weaponized the flinch. When we laugh at her fear, she reverses it somehow. Makes us the prey. I'm not weaponizing anything, Elena protested. When someone scares me and then laughs about it, yeah, I get pissed off. That's normal. Normal for humans, Kiralin said, softly. Lethal for everyone else. The xenopsychology expert arrived within the hour, a Talvan named Dr. Arithax, whose species had spent 3 millennia studying interspecies behavioral patterns. His reputation preceded him. If anyone could explain the human impossibility, it would be him. He lasted 4 minutes in Elena's presence before requesting a break. This is... Dr. Arithax's tendrils trembled as he reviewed his notes in the adjacent room. I've never seen anything like this. Her nervous system is conducting a symphony, and she has no idea she's the composer. Explain it in terms we can understand, Fendek demanded. Do you know what polyvagal theory is? Dr. Arithax pulled up a holographic model of the human nervous system. No? Well, humans have 3 distinct neural pathways for social engagement. The first detects safety. The second detects danger. The third, he highlighted a complex nerve cluster. The third can shut down the entire system if threat levels exceed survival capacity. And Kiralin leaned forward. And humans evolved this system to exist in complex social hierarchies with other apex predators. Specifically, they lived alongside wolves, big cats, bears, species that could kill them easily. Dr. Arithax zoomed in on Elena's biometric data. So they developed something remarkable, the ability to influence the nervous systems of everything around them. That's not possible, Vexthara said. Nervous systems are autonomous, not around humans, apparently. Dr. Arithax pulled up footage of Elena's eye contact moment, frame by frame. Watch her face. See those micro-expressions? Pupil dilation, nostril flare, jaw tension. She's broadcasting threat signals on frequencies we didn't even know existed. And here, he pointed to the Threx's biometric data. His nervous system received those signals and interpreted them as incoming predator attack. But she didn't attack, Fendek said. His nervous system doesn't know that. It only knows that something displaying prey behavior suddenly started displaying apex predator behavior, and the contradiction triggered a catastrophic override. Dr. Arithax's tendrils knotted together. Think of it as social malware. Her nervous system hacked theirs. Elena's voice came through the intercom again. Okay, so I've been reading the materials you sent me, and I think I get it. It's like the thing where if someone yawns, you yawn. Mirror neurons, right? Except instead of yawning, I'm somehow making people's hearts stop, which seems like a pretty significant design flaw. She's researching autonomic nervous system synchronization, Kiralin said, checking her tablet. On her own, while contained. Of course she is, Vexthara muttered. Probably learning how to perfect the technique. Actually, Dr. Arithax pulled up another screen. She's right. Mirror neurons. Humans have more of them than any species we've ever documented. They unconsciously sync their nervous systems with everyone around them. It's how they built cooperative societies despite being relatively weak individually. So, every human can do this? Fendek's color went pale again. Can do it? Administrator, they're always doing it. Every interaction, every conversation, every shared space. Humans are constantly influencing the nervous system states of everyone near them. Dr. Arithax highlighted interaction data. We just never noticed because most humans use it for bonding, creating feelings of safety and trust. Elena isn't creating safety, Kiralin observed. No, Because when predators laugh at her fear response, her nervous system classifies them as threats. And human nervous systems don't negotiate with threats. They eliminate them. Dr. Arathax closed the holograms. The laugh is the trigger. It tells her autonomic system this predator finds your weakness amusing, and her body responds the only way it knows how. By turning their own nervous systems against them. Vexthara finished. We trigger our own cardiac arrest. Precisely. She weaponizes your confidence. Dr. Arathax looked through the observation glass at Elena, who was now doing breathing exercises and reading on her tablet. The remarkable thing is, she's not doing it consciously. Her body handles the entire process automatically. She probably couldn't stop it if she tried. Can we stop it? Fendek asked. Stop what? Her nervous system? Her mirror neurons? Her autonomic threat response? Dr. Arathax's laugh came out bitter. You'd have to fundamentally change how humans process social information. In other words, no. This is just what they are. The room fell silent as everyone watched Elena through the glass. She looked up, caught them staring, and waved awkwardly. 3 of the observers flinched. We need new protocols, Fendek said finally. If humans can accidentally weaponize nervous system responses, not accidentally, Dr. Arathax corrected. Automatically, there's a difference. Then every predator species in the galaxy needs to know. Never laugh at a human's fear. Because when you do, you teach them your prey, Vexthara said quietly, touching his chest where his heart had stopped. And humans are very good at teaching. I want to try something, Elena said through the intercom after 2 hours of research. But I need a volunteer who understands what might happen. Vexthara surprised everyone by standing. I'll do it. Chief, your cardiac system already. Kiralan started. Which is why it should be me. Vexthara moved toward the chamber entrance. I know what it feels like. I can describe the experience better than someone encountering it for the first time. Fendek nodded slowly. Proceed. But medical teams remain on standby. Vexthara entered the chamber, maintaining careful distance from Elena. His mandibles clicked nervously. What do you want to do? I want to see if I can not do it. Elena stayed seated, deliberately non-threatening. The research says this is all autonomic, my body's automatic response. But humans can learn to control autonomic responses. Biofeedback, meditation, that kind of thing. So maybe you want to turn it off? Vexthara's voice carried cautious hope, or at least understand the mechanism better. Elena gestured to the space across from her. Can you do the intimidation thing again? But this time, I'm going to try staying conscious of my responses instead of just reacting. And if you can't control it? Elena shrugged. Then you wake up in medical again, and we know more than we did before. Science. Vexthara moved closer, squared his shoulders. Let his predator instincts surface. The posture, the presence, everything his species used to establish dominance. Elena flinched, smaller than before, but still visible. Vexthara's mandibles spread in that predator expression. Not quite a laugh this time, more of a satisfied click that meant the same thing. Weakness acknowledged, hierarchy established. Elena closed her eyes, breathing deliberately. Okay, there it is. I can feel my body wanting to respond. It's like... She pressed a hand to her chest. My heart rate just spiked, fight or flight kicking in. But underneath that, there's something else. Something watching. Your threat assessment system, Dr. Arathax said over the intercom. Keep talking. What's it telling you? It's saying... Elena opened her eyes, but instead of locking onto Vexthara with that predator focus, She looked slightly past him. It's saying he's dangerous, but not immediately threatening. The laugh, or click, whatever that was, it's trying to trigger the response. My body wants to make him stop. Can you resist it? Kiralan asked. I don't know. It's not like deciding not to blink. It's more like... Elena paused. It's like trying not to yawn when someone else yawns. I'm aware of it now, which helps. But the pull is really strong. Vexthara took another step closer. Clicked again, more deliberately. Elena's pupils dilated. Her jaw tensed. Every predator signal started broadcasting, then stopped. Holy shit. Elena breathed out slowly. I did it. I interrupted the cascade. It wanted to happen. God, it really wanted to happen. But I caught it. Vexthara's hands moved to his chest, checking. My hearts are still beating. Because I didn't complete the response. Elena looked at her hands like they were foreign objects. The eye contact is the delivery system. When I lock eyes after the laugh, that's when their nervous systems receive the full signal. But if I don't make direct eye contact, or if I'm conscious of what I'm doing, the weapon doesn't fire. Fendek finished. It's not a weapon. Elena stood up quickly, frustrated. It's a defense mechanism. Humans don't go around stopping hearts for fun. This only triggers when someone scares us and then laughs about it. That specific combination. Fear response followed by predator satisfaction signal, Dr. Arathax explained. It's elegant, really. Humans evolved a failsafe. If something makes you afraid and then demonstrates pleasure at your fear, your body classifies it as a predator that needs to be stopped. But you can control it, Vexthara said, with training. Maybe. Elena sat back down, looking exhausted. I don't know if other humans can. I don't know if I can do it consistently, and honestly, I don't know if I want to stop it entirely. Because what if I'm in actual danger? What if that automatic response is the only thing keeping me alive? The room processed that implication. You're saying humans need this capability. Kiralan said slowly. I'm saying humans evolved this capability for a reason. We didn't develop it to intimidate aliens at diplomatic stations. We developed it to survive on a planet full of things that wanted to eat us. Elena met Kiralan's gaze. Carefully, consciously. And yeah, maybe that makes us dangerous in your environments. But it also makes us human. Vexthara bowed his head slightly. I apologize. For laughing. For not understanding what that meant to your nervous system. Elena laughed. But this time, the sound carried warmth instead of threat. Apology accepted. And hey, you volunteered to get your heart stopped again in the name of science. That takes guts. Or stupidity, Vexthara said. Little bit of both, Elena agreed. Welcome to being human adjacent. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Diplomatic Corps issued Protocol 847H. Guidelines for predator species interaction with human personnel. Elena found herself teaching the first training session. Okay, so, show of hands, or appendages, or whatever. How many of you have laughed at someone's fear response? Elena stood before a room of 24 predator species, all of whom looked profoundly uncomfortable. Come on, don't be shy. This is a judgment-free zone. Slowly, hesitantly, every appendage in the room went up. Right, and that's totally normal for you guys. It's a dominance thing, hierarchy establishment, I get it. Elena pulled up a holographic diagram of the human nervous system. The problem is, humans interpret that laughter very differently. To us, something that scares us and then finds our fear amusing isn't establishing hierarchy. It's identifying itself as an active threat that needs to be neutralized. A young Threx in the front row raised a foreclaw. But we don't actually intend harm. It's just instinct. I know. And my response is also just instinct. That's why we're here. Elena advanced the slide. Human nervous systems evolved in an environment where we were both predator and prey, often simultaneously. We hunted in packs, but we also got hunted. So we developed really sophisticated threat assessment capabilities. The mirror neuron system, Dr. Arethax added from the back of the room. He'd become Elena's unofficial co-instructor. Humans can read and influence nervous system states in real time. It's how they coordinate, cooperate, and survive. But it also means, Elena continued, when you trigger our fear response and then signal satisfaction about it, our bodies interpret that as, this predator is enjoying my vulnerability and will escalate. And our autonomic system responds accordingly. Vexthara, sitting in the middle row, spoke up. By stopping our cardiac function through nervous system synchronization. Exactly. Elena nodded at him. And before anyone asks, no, I can't teach you how to defend against it. Because it's not an attack I'm choosing to make. It's an automatic response my body executes when it detects a specific threat pattern. So, what do we do? Another Krell asked, mandibles clicking anxiously. Don't laugh at human fear responses. Pretty simple, actually. Elena grinned. If you scare a human, accidentally or otherwise, and they flinch or show fear, just don't express satisfaction about it. Don't laugh, don't click, don't make any signals that indicate you're pleased by their vulnerability. But what if we find it? The Threx started. Funny, satisfying, validating. Elena's expression shifted just slightly. Everyone in the room tensed. Then you need to understand that your amusement might literally kill you. Because my body will recognize you as a predator that takes pleasure in causing fear, and it will shut you down before you can escalate. The room stayed very quiet. Now, that said, Elena's demeanor softened immediately. This doesn't mean we can't be friends, can't work together, can't even engage in playful intimidation. It just means you need to be conscious of the signals you're sending. Think of it like learning not to make direct eye contact with some species, or not to touch certain cultural groups. It's just another accommodation for interspecies interaction. Kiralin, observing from the medical station, pulled Fendak aside. She's good at this, better than expected. She's teaching predator species to fear human fear responses. Fendak's color shifted uncertainly. Is that wise? She's teaching them to respect human fear responses. There's a difference. Kiralin gestured to the classroom where Elena was now demonstrating breathing techniques. Look, she's showing them how to de-escalate situations, how to signal non-threat, how to interact safely. This isn't about making them afraid. It's about preventing automatic defensive responses. In the classroom, Elena had partnered Vexthara with a nervous Vorith. Okay, so Vexthara is going to do a standard intimidation display. Watch his body language, but more importantly, watch your own response. If you feel the urge to laugh or express dominant satisfaction, don't. Just maintain neutral observation. Vexthara squared up. Let his predator presence fill the space. The Vorath's instincts clearly screamed to respond with dominance laughter. Instead, it clicked once in acknowledgement, a neutral sound, and maintained respectful distance. Perfect, Elena. Clapped. See? You can acknowledge the display without triggering the threat cascade. Vexthara, how did that feel? Surprisingly normal, Vexthara admitted. like a training exercise rather than a dominance challenge. Because it is a training exercise. You're learning a new language. Human nervous system language. Elena moved to the next pair. The key thing to remember is that humans aren't trying to dominate you with this response. We're just protecting ourselves the only way our bodies know how. After the session ended, Vexthara approached Elena as she gathered her materials. I never properly thanked you. For stopping your heart? Pretty sure that doesn't require thanks. For teaching me that humans aren't weapons. Vexthara's mandibles clicked, then stopped, conscious of the signal. We see something that can kill us, and we assume it exists to kill us. But you're showing us that your defensive capabilities are just part of being human, like our claws or our venom. Exactly. Elena smiled. We're all just trying to survive with the biology we've got. Sometimes that biology is more intense than anyone expects. Speaking of which, Vexthara gestured toward the station commissary. Would you like to get lunch? I've been researching human stress response management, and I have questions about something called meditation. Elena laughed. That same sound that had preceded cardiac arrest 3 weeks ago, now signaling genuine warmth. Sure. Fair warning, though. I'm terrible at meditation. I'm better at the stress eating while watching cooking shows method of management. I don't know what that means, but I'm intrigued. They walked down the corridor together, the apex predator and the human who'd stopped his hearts, discussing the relative merits of breathing exercises versus chocolate cake. Behind them, Dr. Erithax made notes for his upcoming paper. Nervous system synchronization as interspecies communication. How humans weaponized evolution and then taught us to survive it. Fendak watched them go, still processing everything that had changed. She turned a biological warfare incident into a training program. She turned a defense mechanism into a bridge, Kiralin corrected. That's what humans do. They adapt. They teach. They make the impossible seem obvious in retrospect. Do you think other humans have this capability? To the same degree? Dr. Erithax believes all humans have it to some extent. Some are more sensitive, more reactive. Kiralin checked her tablet. We've already had 3 more incidents reported on other stations. Apparently, humans stopping predator cardiac function through nervous system manipulation is more common than we thought. We just never connected the pattern. Because we never thought prey species could be dangerous. Because we never understood that humans aren't prey. Kiralin watched Elena and Vexthara disappear around a corner, their laughter, both kinds, predator and human, echoing harmoniously. There's something else entirely. Something that evolved to survive everything, including us. Down in the commissary, Elena was explaining the concept of comfort food, while Vexthara took careful notes. She flinched when he reached across the table too quickly for the sauce dispenser. He immediately froze, clicked an apology in that new, careful way. She didn't lock eyes, didn't trigger the cascade, just smiled and passed him the sauce. You're getting good at this, she said. I'm learning from the best, Vexthara replied. The human who taught me that fear deserves respect, not laughter. Elena raised her beverage container. To not dying from your own nervous system. Vexthara clinked his container against hers. To teachers who stop hearts and then teach us how to keep them beating. They drank to that. Predator and human. Sharing a meal in the new paradigm where fear wasn't weakness and defense wasn't aggression. Where humans could flinch without shame and predators could exist without triggering biological warfare. Where laughter meant friendship instead of danger. Though everyone involved agreed, It was probably still best not to laugh at Elena's fear responses, just in case.